It was almost midnight when I heard the soft creak of my window. At first, I thought it was just the wind brushing against the glass. But then came the faint thud of footsteps inside my room. My heart froze. The sound of my own breathing suddenly felt too loud in the darkness. I reached for the lamp beside my bed, my hands trembling. Before I could switch it on, a low voice whispered, "Don't move." The words were firm, yet almost gentle. My breath hitched as a tall figure stepped out from the shadows. Moonlight filtered through the curtains, casting a silver glow over his face. I should have screamed. I should have called for help, but I couldn't, because what I saw wasn't the face of a monster. It was the face of the most handsome man I'd ever seen. His eyes were dark and sharp, like secrets hidden in the night. His jawline was strong, his hair slightly messy, and his expression strangely calm for someone breaking into another person's house. He wore black from head to toe, and his gloved hand held a small bag half open. With my jewelry box peeking out, I swallowed hard. "Who are you?" I whispered. He tilted his head, studying me as if surprised I wasn't screaming. "Just a man trying to survive," he said quietly. "You're a thief," I replied, my voice trembling but steady enough to hold his gaze. He smiled faintly, and that single smile melted my fear into confusion. How could someone so dangerous look so gentle? "Yes," he said, "a thief, but I don't steal from people like you." "I didn't know anyone was home." "Then why break in?" I asked. He sighed, looking toward the window. "Because sometimes life gives you no choice." There was pain in his voice, hidden beneath layers of strength. My fear slowly turned into curiosity. I noticed a small cut on his arm, bleeding slightly. Something about the way he stood, alert but weary, told me he wasn't just some petty criminal. Without thinking, I got out of bed and took a few steps closer. "You're hurt," I said softly. He stiffened. "Don't come near me." But I did. I went to my drawer, took out a small first aid box, and handed it to him. "You should at least clean it," I said. He looked at me in disbelief, his lips parting slightly. "You're not afraid?" "I was," I admitted. "But now, I don't know. You don't look like someone who'd hurt me." For a moment, silence filled the room, thick and heavy, yet strangely comforting. Then, slowly, he took the box from my hands. Our fingers brushed. My skin tingled at the touch. He cleaned his wound quietly, sitting by the window. I watched him, my mind torn between fear and fascination. There was something about his presence that made my heart race, not from terror, but from something deeper, something I didn't understand. "Why are you doing this?" I finally asked. He looked at me, his eyes softening. "I used to have a normal life once, a job, a family, but everything changed when my younger brother got sick. The hospital bills were too high and no one helped us. So, started stealing from people who could afford to lose a little." He paused, his voice cracking slightly. "It wasn't supposed to be like this, but once you start, it's hard to stop." I felt my chest tighten. His story wasn't one of greed, it was one of desperation. I took a deep breath. "You can still change." He smiled sadly. "Maybe, but not tonight." He stood up, ready to leave. I didn't want him to go, though I didn't know why. Something inside me wanted to help him, to see him free from that life. Before he climbed out the window, he turned to me. "I'm sorry for scaring you," he said softly. "You're kind and brave. I won't forget that." "Wait," I said quickly. "At least tell me your name." He hesitated, then whispered, "A deal." And then he was gone, swallowed by the night. For days after, I couldn't stop thinking about him. Every creak in the house made me hope he'd return. I told no one about what happened. It was my secret, our secret. 1 week later, I found a small envelope on my windowsill. Inside was my jewelry box, every piece still inside, and a short note that read, "Thank you for reminding me that not everyone sees a thief as a monster. I'm trying to change. Maybe one day when I'm free, I'll knock instead of sneak in." I smiled, tears filling my eyes. I placed the note in my diary beside the pressed flower I'd kept from that night. Months passed, seasons changed, and I never saw Dale again. But sometimes, when the moonlight slips through my window and brushes against my skin, I think of his eyes, the way they held guilt and warmth all at once. He came into my life as a thief, but he didn't steal my jewelry. He stole something far more precious, my heart. And even though I knew I might never see him again, a part of me still waits for the sound of a window creaking open in the quiet of the night. Because maybe, just maybe, love doesn't always knock. Sometimes it climbs through the window and takes you by the surprise.